Society has a very specific look for success. It's loud, it's polished, it's $700 car payments, $4,000 mortgages in the right zip codes, and a constant stream of Instagram stories from five-star resorts. But here's the truth that the marketing departments don't want you to know. The wealthiest people you will ever encounter probably don't look like they have a dime to their name. They aren't the ones revving their engines at the red light. They drive boring, reliable cars that have been paid off for a decade. They live in modest homes where the neighbors have no idea their net worth is 7 or 8 figures. They don't post their portfolios on social media because they don't need the validation of strangers to confirm their value. That isn't an accident. It's a strategy. Because real wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about being rich. It's about quietly stacking assets in the dark while everyone else is busy performing for an audience. In a world of performative prosperity, invisibility is actually your greatest competitive advantage. My name is Orly, and I spend way too much time thinking about the clinical math of freedom. Why some people escape the paycheck-to-paycheck treadmill while others, even those earning 6 figures, stay stuck as high-volume processors of money for everyone else. If you want to understand how wealth actually functions, not the fairy tale, but the raw, data-driven strategy, hit that subscribe button. Let's break down the 14 moves that will allow you to build serious wealth without anyone ever noticing. The psychology of the silent move. Before we get into the tactics, we have to talk about the visibility trap. In our culture, we are groomed to believe that if you don't show it, you don't have it. We celebrate the promotion, the new car, and the house upgrade as if they are the finish line. But every time you broadcast your financial status, you are inviting a specific kind of social tax. When your financial details remain private, you draw a clear boundary between your peace of mind and the noise of the world. Every public revelation creates new pressures, unsolicited judgments, comparisons, and the weight of other people's expectations. Suddenly, relatives have emergencies that only your bank account can solve. Friends assume you're picking up the tab because you're doing so well. True wealth is the ability to make choices for yourself, not for an audience. When you reclaim your privacy, you reclaim your independence. Move 1. Automate everything before you ever see it. Let's start with a concept called decision fatigue. Throughout your day, you are making thousands of micro decisions. What to wear, how to navigate a difficult boss, what to eat for lunch. By the time you sit down at night to make smart financial moves, your mental reserves are depleted. In this state, short-term comfort always wins. You'll tell yourself you'll invest whatever is left at the end of the month, but the math of human nature ensures that nothing is ever left. The solution? Remove your willpower from the equation entirely. Set up automatic transfers that move money into your brokerage account or high-yield savings the day after your paycheck hits. It needs to happen before you pay the bills, before you see the balance, and before you can talk yourself out of it. You effectively pay your future self first. This elevates your wealth building to the same non-negotiable status as your rent or your electricity bill. I know a teacher who automated $100 every 2 weeks into a basic S&P 500 index fund starting in her 20s. 10 years later, she joked she couldn't even remember the login to her account. She didn't need to. Her wealth accumulated in the background while she lived her life. No budgeting nights, no second guessing. Just quiet, clinical consistency. Move 2. Never discuss income or net worth, the deflection strategy. This sounds obvious, yet people violate it every single day. They hint at their bonuses. They complain about their tax bracket in a way that signals their income. Every time you disclose a number, you are handing someone a calculator to use against you. The move is simple. When someone asks about money, you deflect with polite, boring generalities. We're doing fine, or making it work, can't complain. You don't owe anyone the specifics of your liquidity. The wealthiest people I know are masters of this. They will talk to you for hours about philosophy, gardening, or the local school board, but the moment the conversation shifts to their numbers, they become the most boring people in the room. This protects you from the judgment and unsolicited advice that act as a siphon on your mental energy. Move 3. Drive a car that is fully paid off. Nothing screams broke quite like a $60,000 luxury SUV parked in front of a house you don't own, carrying an $800 monthly payment. The wealthy understand that a car is a depreciating asset. It is a toaster on wheels. Let's look at the math of Rich Richard versus Poor Peter. Both men earn $90,000 a year. Rich Richard drives a 10-year-old Toyota. It's paid off. It's reliable. It's boring. His monthly costs are gas and insurance, maybe $250. Poor Peter leases a new BMW every 3 years. He pays $750 a month, plus premium insurance. Over a 10-year period, Richard has saved over $60,000 in payments alone. If he invested that at an 8% return, his net worth is nearly $90,000 higher than Peter's just because of his choice of transportation. Peter has a prestige car, but Richard has the equity that buys his time back. Move 4. Opt out of the social media flex culture. Every time you post about a purchase or a vacation, you are providing data to the world. You are telling everyone what you value and what you have. That data creates a psychological obligation to maintain the performance. The wealthy live their lives offline. They don't tag luxury brands. They don't share their investment wins. They understand that wealth compounds best in the dark, without the heat of an audience. When you stop performing wealth, you stop feeling the pressure to upgrade your life every time your neighbor does. You are building a fortress, and a fortress doesn't need a billboard. Move 5. Live in a modest home, the anchor strategy. Housing is the single biggest wealth killer for the middle and upper middle class. People take the maximum amount a bank will approve them for and turn it into a monthly prison sentence. They become house poor. The wealthy keep their housing costs below 25 to 30% of their take-home pay, regardless of what they qualify for. They buy less house than they can afford and invest the gap, the difference between their actual cost and their potential cost. Every extra $500 you spend on a mortgage for a room you don't use is $6,000 a year that isn't compounding in the market. Over 20 years, that extra bedroom could cost you $500,000 in lost retirement assets. A modest home isn't about being cheap. It's about keeping your capital free to go to war for your independence. Move 6. Freeze your lifestyle. After every raise, the 12-month rule. Why does a $10,000 raise seem to disappear within 3 months? It's because of lifestyle drift. You get the raise, and suddenly, you deserve a slightly nicer apartment. You deserve to eat out 4 nights a week instead of 2. Here is the stealth wealth move. When you get a raise, freeze your spending for exactly 12 months. Keep living on your old salary. Commit 100% of that new income to your equity defense battle plan, debt reduction, or investments. This turns a temporary boost into a permanent engine for wealth. I once worked with a designer who got a massive promotion. Instead of moving into a luxury loft, she stayed with her roommates for 2 more years. She used that invisible raise to build a real estate portfolio that eventually paid for her entire lifestyle. 1 year of discipline can permanently shift your financial trajectory. Move 7. Keep your investment strategy boring and consistent. Flashy investments are for people who want to feel important at dinner parties. Crypto, day trading, and hot tech stocks are designed to be exciting. But in wealth building, excitement is usually expensive. The boring move, broad market index funds and low-cost ETFs, is the one that actually builds generational wealth. It's so boring that nobody asks you about it, and that's your advantage. While everyone else is stressing over the daily fluctuations of a meme stock, you are quietly compounding at 8 to 10% a year with zero drama. Math doesn't need to be exciting to be effective. If you've been putting $500 a month into an S&P 500 index for the last decade, you'd have nearly $100,000 today. You didn't need to check the news. You didn't need a tip. You just needed consistency. Move 8. Give anonymously. Wealth as a tool, not a trophy. Anonymous generosity is the ultimate flex of true wealth. When you give without attaching your name, you are reinforcing the idea that money is a tool, not a way to buy status or recognition. Slipping a gift card to a family in need or donating to a cause without a press release removes the pressure of expectations. It keeps your privacy intact while allowing your values to speak louder than your ego. That is the definition of real power, making a difference without needing the world to clap for you. Move 9. Ruthlessly audit your shadow subscriptions. The system is designed to nickel and dime you into poverty. $15 for Netflix, $20 for the gym, $10 for a cloud storage plan. These seem small, but they are leaks in your ship. The wealthy audit their subscriptions every 90 days. If it doesn't provide clear, measurable utility, it gets cut. They use free alternatives. They share family plans. They understand that $300 a month in useless subscriptions invested over 30 years is nearly $450,000. That is the price of your freedom. Nobody sees you cancel a service, but your bank account feels the victory. Move 10. Build a 6-month equity defense buffer and keep it secret. This is your FU fund. It is 6 months of essential living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. It is the wall that protects you from the chaos of the world. But here is the catch. Never tell anyone you have it. The moment people know you have a cushion, they begin to view it as a community resource. This boundary protects both your wealth and your relationships. You can still help people, but you do it on your terms, out of your surplus, not because someone feels entitled to your safety net. Move 11. Use LLCs or legal entities to shield your assets. As your wealth grows, you need to separate your personal identity from your public records. This is where privacy gets professional. Holding rental properties or major investments through an LLC, limited liability company, ensures that when someone searches county records, they see a company name, not yours. This isn't just about modesty, it's a shield. It keeps tenants, contractors, and well-meaning relatives from seeing your portfolio as a target. Fewer people knowing what you have leads to fewer awkward conversations and a much higher level of peace. Move 12. Build multiple income streams silently. The wealthy never rely on a single paycheck. They build side streams that nobody ever sees. This might be dividends from your index funds, rental income through your LLC, or a silent side hustle under a business name. The key is that you don't announce them. You don't post hustle culture quotes on LinkedIn. You just quietly collect the checks and reinvest them into more assets. From the outside, you just look like a normal person with a normal job. In reality, you are a one-person conglomerate. Move 13. Master selective transparency. This is the most brilliant psychological move in the protocol. You can be open about money without revealing anything meaningful. Talk about your budgeting philosophy. Share tips on how to save on groceries. Discuss the importance of the 401k match. This satisfies people's curiosity and makes you relatable. Because you are willing to talk about money, people assume you aren't hiding anything. You control the narrative. You can even talk about financial struggles you had 5 years ago. It makes you human, while your current 7-figure net worth stays completely invisible. Move 14. Space your major purchases years apart. If you upgrade your car, your house, and your wardrobe in the same 6-month window, you are signaling new money. You are inviting scrutiny. The stealth wealth move is to space the upgrades. Buy a reliable used car this year? Great. Now, don't touch your housing situation for 5 years. Finally move to a nicer apartment? Perfect. Now keep that car for another 7 years. This spacing prevents the perception of a sudden windfall. It makes your life look like a normal, slow progression, while in the background, your assets are compounding aggressively. You are stacking wealth while looking completely average. The richest form of wealth is the kind no one feels compelled to prove. Building wealth invisibly isn't about being antisocial or secretive. It's about creating sovereignty. It's about making choices for your family's future instead of your neighbor's approval. The formula is simple. Privacy plus automation plus consistency equals invisible freedom. Privacy protects your progress from outside pressure. Automation removes the need for willpower. Consistency compounds the result over decades. 10 years from now, you could be financially independent, a secret millionaire, and nobody around you will have any idea. They'll still see the same modest car, the same reasonable home, and the same quiet life. But behind the scenes, you'll have the security and the options that most people only dream about. Your homework. Calculate your gap, income minus spending. If it isn't 20%, start cutting the shadow subscriptions today. Calculate your freedom number, annual expenses times 25. Execute. Move 1. Set up that automatic transfer before you even finish this video. Widen your gap now, or spend your life processing money for people who already have theirs. My name is Orly, and this is where you start winning the game by refusing to play the
Heirs.